being a brat? Are you being a brat? You say, yes, mommy, I be a brat. Hey everyone, so I'm currently making the Polar Fleece sweatshirt by Issa in stitches, and I have a good chunk of it done. So here in Texas, we are currently having a couple snow days. So I thought, what better opportunity, because I'm literally locked at home. I can do nothing else, which sometimes is good. In this case, it's good because I'm actually getting work done that was supposed to get done a long time ago and I haven't done it. So I'm doing it now because grad school. Anyways, so I am finally sitting down to sew this pattern, and so far I've been pretty impressed. So far it's been really fun to sew it, and I've changed a couple things from Issa's tutorial. One of them being I actually attached my pockets on the back. So instead of having them be on the front like her tutorial, I decided to do the same zipper technique just on the actual Polar Fleece itself, and then I lined the pockets with the Polar Fleece as well. So that's one thing. And I was like, oh, I'm going to finish this tomorrow. And I went, oh my gosh, it's gonna be snowing tomorrow, and it would be so cute to have photos bright and early in the morning in the snow in this sweatshirt. So I am now trying to finish said sweatshirt. So this is typical me. So I am just, I really don't have a lot left. All I have left to do is basically the placket for the buttons on here. And I've got this prepped, and then I've got the collar, and then I have to attach it all. And then I'm using fold over elastic for the first time, so I'm a little nervous for that, but it'll be fine. Issa's tutorial is super great on that, so I'm very excited for that. But yeah, so just kind of catching up on some work on this snow day, and then I'll hopefully have some photos of this Polar Fleece in the afternoon. So this is the part of the tutorial where if you're following Issa, you've attached everything, you're ready to rock and roll, and you're about to do the fold over elastic or the bias tape, whichever one you chose. I chose fold over elastic. I chose this really pretty lilac color that matches the zippers. This is probably the trickiest part of this whole thing, is adding this elastic. So definitely go nice and slow. Just that's the pro tip. Go nice and slow. Issa says it in her tutorial as well. Oh, sorry, my machine is being moved for a second. Issa says it as well. Use lots of pins base, because the first time she did the corner, it didn't go well, and I'm gonna go nice and slow. Hopefully we're gonna get it on the first try. But if not, I'm not gonna fret. I'm not gonna be upset. I'm not gonna be mad, because this is my first time using fold over elastic. So I may be a professional, I may do this for a living, but that does not mean I do not mess up. What do you think? He's like, I had no brain. Do you like it? Do you like it? Yeah, okay. Okay, This is the fit so far. The pocket, we've got the zips. Oh, Beans, are you gonna start barking? Anyways, I should have, so I went down one size than what I was originally gonna sew. I'm glad I did, but I probably could have even gone down like one more size because this is so oversized. But I sewed it with the Ralph Lauren fleece from JOANN's. Or no, it's the Eddie Bauer fleece. I sewed it with the Eddie Bauer fleece. So like, the fleece is so thick, and it actually broke a needle on my serger trying to sew it. So I am now going to add the elastic to the cuffs and the bottom here, and then I wanted to do snaps up here, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to do said snaps. So I think I'm just gonna have to do buttons, which is fine. Like, buttons are fine, but yeah, everything. Here's a little pocket up front, pockets on the side, little zips. The pops of purple are so fun. There we go. Okay, this is what we've got. We added the elastic there. Still don't have buttons. I think I am gonna go ahead and do the same kind of elastic on my cuffs. I thought I would like the purple in the cuffs, and I do like the purple in the cuffs, but they're just not, they're, my arms are so, we're about to go brave the snow. We gotta go to the grocery store, and so we're gonna see how this wears outside. I'm already sweating, like just walking around the house in this thing. Oh, the mail's out! Can you believe it?
Yes, because their entire thing is like neither rain nor sleet nor snow. I'm gonna deliver our mail.
Here we go! Let's, real quick, digest let this make, because I think, one, it is a great make. There's a couple things, if you're a beginner sewist or somebody who has maybe sewn a couple projects and you're like, I really want to sew this, you might want to know what it's called. I just blanked on the name. Exposed zippers. Exposed zippers. So for the exposed zippers, definitely a little more of a challenge, a little more of a skill set. You might want to practice on a sample piece before you actually dive into it on your full projects. Definitely a little more of an intermediate skill. So I would say that the level that this sewing pattern is marked as is definitely true. Definitely true. As far as sewing time, I watched, I think, 5 episodes of Gilmore Girls while I was sewing this. So whatever that time is, I'll put it on the screen. That's about roughly how much time it took me to sew this. I tend to sew things pretty quickly, pretty fast. I've been sewing for many, many years. I do this professionally. So if you're a newbie, maybe add like 1 to 1.5 times that time, and that's probably about how long it will take you. Definitely a great weekend project, very easy. I did opt to serge my seams instead of sew them. However, this Polar Fleece from Eddie Bauer, the JOANN's Polar Fleece, is so thick. I broke a needle on my serger and I had to replace the needle. So it definitely, the seams so far have held up really great. We've been running around all day. Another skill that was hard that I was like, oh, it'll be easy, and it was not, was the fold over elastic. Definitely a little trickier than I thought. Go slow, use lots of pins, and even hand basting just with the needle might be good. I think this was also a little harder on mine because, again, this Polar Fleece is so thick. I didn't put the buttons on it. I haven't done that yet. I was gonna do snaps, but they're up at school. But I'm not gonna lie, it's so warm in this sweater. I might actually just leave it as is and just like wear a t-shirt with it. So, I mean, that's kind of an option that you can do too. Overall, this pattern was a fun sew. I really did enjoy sewing it. It was very quick. It was easy for me. Again, though, I am a professional sewist and I sew professionally. I make gowns, I make lots of things. And so some of the skills in this, you know, are just like a normal Tuesday for me. But some of the skills that were new for me that were a little challenging were like the fold over elastic, again, because it's really thick. And I think I just used too thin of a fold over elastic. So that definitely was something that was a little more challenging for me. But I would rate this pattern as a sew again. I think it's a sew again. I think it's really fun. The pattern does not come with written instructions. It does come with a YouTube tutorial. For some people, that may be not something that you're looking for, and that's really fine. For me personally, I really like written instructions, so having just the video instructions was a little like, ugh, for me at first, but overall, really, really great instructions. I think Issa did a great job on her instructions. You know, definitely a true intermediate pattern. Things with like the fold over elastic and the exposed zippers, both very true intermediate skills. The Polar Fleece was a little challenging to work with just on my serger just because of the thickness. However, I think if I was sewing it just on my regular sewing machine, it would be just fine. I did use a walking foot on my sewing machine to sew this, any part that I was sewing, because the fabric was so thick and because the feed dogs couldn't quite pick up on the Polar Fleece portion of the fabric. I would sew this again with a few changes, like I would probably add buttons on the next one. I'd probably use a different lighter weight fleece, or maybe even try this in like a flannel just to kind of, you know, change things up. So I love the pockets. It's very oversized. So if you love an oversized sweatshirt, like if you're a fan of the Blogilates or the Pop Flex line, you know, they're very princessy oversized. I would say that this is very similar to that fit. Well, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm super excited to have you along the sewing journey in 2025. And if you're looking for more reviews or just what it's like to live the life of a full-time sewist, I would love to have you along the journey. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook. I have a newsletter where I send free patterns and free tips. Definitely sign up for that. And you can also just follow me here on YouTube. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.